Then Santa's gone.
Santa's gone.
That's so sad.
Santa's not real.
Did we just crush your We just ruined Christmas for you. Okay. That's right. Y'all didn't have the tooth fairy?
I did.
Oh, okay.
So disgusting.
Oh.
What do parents do? They just keep their teeth?
My mom threw ours away.
That's disgusting.
It's just like a.
I've always wondered.
I like let it die.
It's part of the holidays. It's like your parents have a tooth fetish.
It's part of the holidays.
How do your parents like
Oh yeah,
pull up a pillow, like pull your pillow up and then
I haven't done that yet, so I don't know. I have no idea. My kids don't have their teeth. All right, y'all.
when they're that young.
Like for Christmas, the twins are almost 2. And so we got the twins balance bikes, the little bicycles without the pedals. And then we got Lily Jo. Well, she got a tablet. She's almost 4, so she got a tablet. And then we got her a little trampoline, like just like a small trampoline. And then a bunch of crap, like little dolls and little, Barbie dolls. Lily Jo wants to be a vet right now, so we got her like a little vet set. So just lots of little things, because they like a lot, whereas you could get like AirPods and be happy because oh gosh, it costs so much. If I got them one present, they'd be like, well, they probably wouldn't even know.
Yeah, it's like
Maybe Lily, but not the little girls. We haven't not started the elf. I thought about it, but
that was like the best tradition.
I put it
You know what you can do?
on my Facebook and asked like the other parents, like, when do we start the elf thing? And like half the parents were like, you should do it. Lily will love it. And then maybe 80% of the people were like, never start it. It's miserable. So
It's so fun. I recommend it.
well, I think it's fun for y'all. I think it's a lot of work for the parents. The elves.
dude, that stuff is stuff lying.
Yeah.
Literally just trash the house and say it's there.
My kids are good because I will lay the law down. Okay, y'all, we got to get started. Do what? We don't have one yet.
You know what?
Just because they're so little.
But they're like 6.
No, yeah.
We'll probably just have one for all 3 girls. Yeah. So
I love it. You can put it
somebody, okay, it's a bird mom, but her kids are y'all's age, maybe older than y'all. But she like sent me all kinds of super extra stuff, like her elf like zip line from upstairs to down. I'm like, you're a better mom than me. Who is it? Yeah.
Cereal and milk.
Yes, I do remember that. What is it?
I went down and there's cereal and milk everywhere and they're saying
Yeah. I don't want my house to be messy. If I have an elf, I want it to be sweet. Yeah. 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 Okay. Hey, let's rock and roll. These people that are watching this Zoom video are going to be like, what is happening in that class? Okay. So, yeah, we're recording. It will be on YouTube. Okay. In the diagram below, if the measure of angle 1 is 79, find the measure of each numbered angle. So if 1's 79, who else is 79? 4, 5, and 8. Okay, so all of those are going to be 79. What are all of the other ones going to be? Good, because you do 180 minus 79, which gives you, what'd y'all say? 101. So that means everything else is going to be 101. Okay. All right, then y'all got to put your mask on. Y'all gonna get me in trouble. He's gonna come in here and I'm gonna be in trouble. All right, the next one says solve for x and y. So you got to start with who? Skylar, put your mask on. X. 8x plus 5 equals 10x minus 27. Now, we didn't talk about those in Springboard, but those are called alternate exterior angles. So they're just like alternate interior. They're just on the exterior, and they're going to be equal to each other. So then you just solve. I'm going to go this way and then move this over here. So what's 5 plus 27? 12, 32. And that's going to be 2x. Divide by 2. Guys, y'all are too close to me. Hush. You. Shh, shh, shh. You're too close to me. Be quiet. Like I can hear you in my head, and I need you to not be in my head while I can do my math problems. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Okay. All right. So x equals 16. So now how are we going to find y? Everybody's saying the same thing. You need to figure out what this angle is because those two angles are 180 together. Okay. So I'm going to just plug in, and you could have used the other one. People were saying use the other one. It doesn't matter. Either one, you're going to get the same thing. So 10 times 16 is 160. 160 minus 27 is what? This is 133. Is that right? Okay, so that's 133 degrees, which means if this whole thing together is a linear pair, you do 180 minus 133. What's that give you? 47. So that means this 2y plus 9 has to equal 47. Then it's just basic solving. 2y equals 30. What's that going to be? 38. Divide by 2. Y equals 19. Yes, ma'am. Bailey. It doesn't matter. Your way is fine. Okay, so keep up with those. Keep up with those. I don't know if we'll have a quiz or I'll just have you turn them in. It may just be that we submit them to me, but keep up with them. Have everything. Make sure you put today's date. Today's the 8th. And the topic was solving missing angles. So make sure you have all of that. Let me finalize this. Stop. Okay. For today, you want me to punch holes in those? Yeah. Hey, if you haven't brought cans, you need to put a phone, like you need to put a reminder in your phone for when you get home to remind you to bring your cans because you only have 2 days left to bring cans. No, I keep up with it. I'll say first hour submitted this much because honestly, they're not really doing very much. So, oh, I don't know. Oops, I'm sorry, baby. Just give you your lunch. But it only goes by first hours. So. Skylar, put your mask on. Resorts are popular. Everybody get one? Did I give you girls one in the back? Yeah. Okay, we will test out of this, like test, not quiz, test out of this paper packet before we leave for the break. So that when we return, we are done with this part of the unit. Then we'll be in unit 3. You know what? I don't know. I have no idea. I know it's in January. No. The midterms is the end of the semester. When is midterms?
They're like the second week before about.
Is it our midterm 2 weeks after we get back?
I'm not sure, y'all.
I'm really hoping that our midterms.
Y'all are so stressed for no reason. Okay. Properties of rectangles. Properties of rectangles. Rectangles have the same properties as parallelograms. Opposite sides are congruent. Opposite sides are parallel. Opposite angles are congruent. Consecutive angles are supplementary, and diagonals bisect each other. So those are the same things that you learned about parallelograms. So they have all of the same things that parallelograms have, plus they have 2 more. Do you know what those other 2 are? What are some things about rectangles that you know? Come on, y'all. Rectangles. Think about the angles. That's true. I don't think that's one that they're looking for. I'm trying to double check what they're looking for, but that is true. Okay. What y'all are on the right track, but think about the angles. They're all going to be 90. Okay? They're all going to be right angles because let me make sure that's right. So, all 4 angles are right. Okay, that has to be the case every single time. And then what is the other one? Think about the diagonals. What do you know about the diagonals? Yes, they are going to create 4 triangles. That's true. But what else could it be? Think about the diagonal versus a parallelogram. Let's think about it this way. Look at that TV. What's the length from the top right to the bottom left? Well, what's the length from the top left to the bottom right? It's the same. Okay, so unlike a parallelogram, your diagonals are going to be congruent. Okay, so the diagonals are congruent. Because remember, with a parallelogram, congruent. With a parallelogram, you could have a long one. This one would be the long one, but then you would also have a short one. Okay, so they weren't necessarily the same. The diagonals weren't, but these are. Okay, they're still going to cut each other in half. All of that's still going to be the same because up here you read diagonals bisect each other. That's the same. But the difference is the diagonals are going to be congruent. So if this distance from S to Q is 10, then the distance from P to R is 10. If from B to D it's 18, then from A to C it's 18. Okay? So those distances are going to be the same. They're going to be congruent. So they have the same properties plus those 2. So let's look at it. Let's look at number 1. It says, each quadrilateral below is a rectangle. Find the missing measures. Okay, top is 24. Who else is 24? SR is 24. Okay. PS is 10. Who else is 10? QR is 10. Okay. Then it wants us to find SQ. It wants us to find PR, and it wants us to find QT. So how are we going to do that? What do you have right here? You have a triangle, okay? So if you're looking at this triangle, that one's not a right triangle, but what is this triangle? The big one. It's a right triangle. And you know the legs. This leg is 10. This leg is 24. So how do I find PR? There you go. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So you're using the Pythagorean theorem because you're dealing with a right triangle. Who's A? Can it be 10? So either 10 or 24, it doesn't matter. Plus 10 squared equals C squared. Then hopefully you've got a calculator that you can help do this math, so it's relatively easy. But 24 squared is what? 576. 10 squared is, that equals C squared. So 576 plus 100 is 676. That equals C squared. What's the square root of 676? It's 26. So who's 26? SQ is 26 and PR is 26. Because they're going to be the same. Because I'm a genius. I have the key. You don't think I'm that smart, do you? It's fine. I'm not. I'm really not. Right? I know. Not me. Mm-mm. Okay, so QT. And how do you know it's 13? That's right. Because our our diagonals bisect each other. So T is going to be your midpoint, which just means it's going to be half of that, which is 13. Try number 2 and see how far you can get without me. Yes. Sure. Is that better? Okay, we don't have a ton of time, so we got to rock and roll. So AE is 15. Who else is 15? EC. Okay, so that makes AC what? 30. Okay, then we know that DC is 27, so who else is 27? AB is 27. Who else was 30? AC is 30, and who else? BD is also 30 because your diagonals are going to be the same. So now they want to know BE. That's this little segment. What's that going to be? It's going to be 15 because, again, it's just half of that. And then they want to know BC. That's the hard one. Well, not hard, but that's the one we're going to have to do some math for. So how are we going to find BC? Using the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, we know that for BC, it's a leg. and we know the other leg is 27, and we know the hypotenuse is 30. So this time you have to do 27 squared plus x squared equals 30 squared, because your hypotenuse is 30. You're missing a leg. So since we don't know a leg, you've got to put them in the right spots. So what's 27 squared? 729. What's 30 squared? 900. So then you subtract 729. So x squared equals 171. Take the square root of that. So what does x equal? Good. I'm going to put 13.1 just so we know that it is approximate. It's not exact. It does give you a decimal. So it's going to be 13.1-ish for that. Okay? All right, so that tells us about the sides and the diagonals. Now let's look at the angles. If we look at number 3, they gave you this little slice right here. KJN is 27. So how do we find MJN? That's right. The whole thing has to be 90. They're all right angles. So we just subtract out that 27. What's 90 minus 27? So that means this angle here is going to be 63. Just like with the parallelogram, you have alternate interior angles. If this is 27, then this is 27 because they're alternate. This is 63, this is 63 because they are alternate interior angles. So let's answer some of these questions. What is the angle MJK? MJK, the whole thing. That's 90. MJL. MJL. Yep, that's the 63 that we found. JK. I'm sorry, JLK. Good, that's the alternate interior, so that's 63. Then we have KML. How are you going to find that one? What type of triangle are we dealing with right here? This little one, this smaller triangle. Well, yes. What do you know about the sides, though? It's isosceles because these sides are going to be congruent, right? So it's an isosceles triangle. So if this is 27, this is a base angle, then what's this base angle going to be? It's also going to be 27. So you're having to apply a ton of stuff that we've learned and that hopefully you know. So you're applying your knowledge about isosceles triangles. Okay, and then we have last one, MNL. How are we going to find that? Good. What is 27 plus 27? 54. That's the base angles. Now to find the angle at the top, you have to do 180 minus 54, which is 126. Does that make sense? Cool. Now, let's look at this one over here. They gave us 64, and that's all they gave you to answer everything. Who else is 64? V. So V is 64 over here. How can you find this one over here? What does these two form together? 180. So what's 180 minus 64? 116? Skylar. Okay, now we've got all of the inside top angles. How are we going to get all of the base angles? And then what? That's right, because the base angles have to be the same. So you just take that 180, subtract out 116. What's that going to give you? 64. So that means each of the base angles is going to be half of that. So what are the base angles going to be? So this is 32, this is 32, this is 32, this is 32. How are you going to find the other angles? You could either do 90 minus 32, or you could do the same thing and do 180 minus 64, which is 116, and then divide that in half. So you got options for how you could do that. We could just do 90 minus 32. What's 90 minus 32? So that means all of these are 58. I'm not going to do this over here on this side because we just labeled everybody. Okay? No. All right, let's take a look at number 5. If we look at number 5, it tells us that DB is 42. That's the whole thing. AD is 26, so that means this is 26. And they told you that the angle DAE is 52. So you're basically going to have to put everything that you did up top in to get number 5. Okay, so since this is 52, you would do 90 minus 52. Then you could find all of the other angles. I want us to keep moving though because we don't have a lot of time left. Okay, so we're skipping this number 5. You're basically putting 1 through 4 all together for number 5. Okay, look at number 6. Here we are with some algebra. You knew it was coming. What would we do with a problem like number 6? You just set them equal to each other. We're not going to finish this problem. We're just going to set them equal to each other and then write the word solve. Okay, you're going to get to practice on your homework, so I'll let you practice there. Then we look at number 7. RT is 5x minus 14. US is 2x plus 10. So you got your diagonals. What do you know about the diagonals? They're congruent. So you would just take RT, set it equal to US, and then you would solve. Okay, number 8. Okay, number 8 says if JM is half, is x plus 17, and MK, that's over here, is 5x minus 23. What would you do with that information? That's right. They're both halves, so you set them equal to each other. But that's not where you stop. So I'm going to do this one like lightning fast. So keep up. So I'm going to subtract x. That gives me 4x. I'm going to add 23. That's going to give me 10. That's going to give me 40 equals 4x. So x equals 10. But that's not what they want. What do they want? They want JL. So how are we going to find JL? You can plug it in to JM, which is going to be 10 plus 17, and that gives me 27. Then what do I do with the 27? Double it, because there are 2 halves to the whole. So what's 2 times 27? 54. So JL equals 54. 54. Okay, number 9. Okay, if we look at number 9, it says if VW equals 9x minus 11 and SU equals 16x minus 12, find WT. So VW is here and SU is the entire thing. So you've got a half and you've got a whole. What are you going to do with that? Double the half and then just set it equal to the whole. Solve, work it out. So double the half, set it equal to the whole. Number 10. Look at number 10. What do you know about these alternate interior angles? They are congruent, so you set them equal to each other and solve. Okay, number 11. What do you know about these two? They equal 90. The sum of these two equals 90. They're a right angle. So you just put 3x plus 2 plus 12x minus 17. That equals 90 degrees. And you just solve it out. So the sum equals 90. Now, look at number 12. What do you know about these two? You got to think outside of the box for this one. That's right. Why are they going to equal 90 together? That's right. This one is the alternate interior angle to this one. So we just need to put them together and set them equal to 90 because they're alternate interior angles. So I'm just going to have x plus 20 plus 5x minus 8. Set that equal to 90 degrees. And then you would solve, of course. And then 13. Okay, 13, we're solving for x, and we're dealing with degrees. Now, we got some work to do before we can do this. So this is 130, but it's really not connected to this angle here. What do we need? We need that angle. How do we get that angle? Good. So you need to do 180 minus 134, and that's going to give you, that means that this angle here is 46. Okay. So how do we figure out what our base angles are going to be? Okay, so 180 minus 46 is what? 134. And then you divide that by 2. Okay, so that means each of these base angles equals 67. So you just take that 5x plus 7, set that equal to 67, and ta-da. But there's just a lot that goes into that one prior to setting up that equation. Any questions on how I set that up? On the back, on the homework. I am going to assign different homeworks for different classes, okay? So don't copy somebody that's not in this class, okay? They will probably have a different assignment than you. If you do the wrong problems, you don't get credit, okay? You have to do second hour's assignment. I got to start changing things up so there's less cheating. There's just too much cheating going on. So on the back, you guys are second hour. I'm going to let you guys do the evens. Seconds even, you're doing evens. Okay, so you do the even numbers. If you want extra practice, you can do all of it, but you have to submit the evens to me. Okay, don't submit the odds or whatever I give the other classes. You guys submit your work. Have a great rest of the day. If you're a virtual student and you're watching this, you can submit the evens as well. If you're in a specific class and you're rewatching this, you do exactly what I told you to do in class. Virtual students, you do the evens just like second hour.